Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Rural Report. My name is Raúl Arcos Hawkins, Business Development Specialist for the Center for Rural Affairs. With the holiday season coming up, business owners become more vulnerable to predatory lending. So today, we're going to discuss how small business owners can protect themselves from predatory lending and what are some of the warning signs. Again, with the holiday season, it's easy to fall victim to predatory lending. So especially with the stress of low or slagging sales, it is important that business owners understand what are some of the warning signs that of predatory lending. And here are 9 that we have found. The first one is high interest rates. So before you apply for a loan, you should research current interest rates. This will give you a better sense of what you should expect. And if your credit is fair, you may be quoted something below average. If it needs improvement, you might get quoted slightly a little bit higher rate. If a lender is offering something excessively higher, that is a red flag, and you should look somewhere else. Predatory lenders often promise one type of loan at a certain rate, and then they'll give you a different loan at a higher interest rate. Sometimes the higher interest rate won't take effect until you're already into a few months into the loan. Another one that gets people's attention is the no credit check. If a lender promises to extend an offer without checking your credit, stay clear of these loans. Credit checks are conducted to evaluate your ability to repay a loan with reasonable terms. A lender that avoids this step may offer you a loan you can't afford and lock you into a cycle of debt. Or if it's offered to borrowers with poor credit, but is secured by an asset like a car or a home, the lender might use these lax lending requirements to attract borrowers into signing a loan that they can't afford. And then, should the borrower default, the lender can claim their assets, such as a home or their car, to recover the assets at the expense of the borrower. Another one is excessive fees. A lender might roll other costs into the loan, making it affordable for the borrower, but more profitable for the lender. One in particular could be the credit report fee. Some lenders charge to pull your credit report. It's usually about $25 and can be per individual if there's more than one person signing onto the loan. Origination fee is a fee charged to start the loan process. While many lenders don't charge one, it can be raised to as much as $125. Application fees are charged by some lenders to process the application in order to start the process. A lender might pressure the borrower into agreeing to some of these services, or say that the loan offer is contingent on paying some of these services. But sneaking in fees, charges, and other add-on services are just some ways some of the lenders like to milk more money out of the borrower. Another one is that rush approval or paperwork. So if they offer you a fast and quick approval or fast and easy paperwork, just remember, when signing a loan, it is important to have the time to fully review all the contracts and loan documents. Reading the fine print is always a must. That way, you can make sure you understand and that you can afford the loan that you're agreeing into. If the lender is trying to rush you into signing the paperwork or telling you to skip reading through it carefully, that's definitely a warning sign. Predatory lenders often count on borrowers not having the time or the know-how to understand their contracts. And if they don't know what you don't want to spend too much time on reviewing that contract, it could be that they want you to sign it because there are some unfair fees or terms in that contract for that loan. So it's very important that you read the loan documents that you get and that you fully understand what you are signing. Another one is the balloon payments. Some predatory lenders focus their attention on the loan's low monthly payment, which may seem like it's an amount that you can afford. However, when you're ready to close the loan, you suddenly learn that it's actually a short-term loan with a large payment at the end of the term. The problem is that when you may not be able to make that payment and you will need to refinance. Then you're stuck with the new loan with all new fees and all new costs. Here's another one that sometimes does happen, that they are lying to you or they ask you to lie. Predatory lending often involves creditors who don't provide proper loan disclosure or provide misleading information for borrowers. So make sure that you ask and review all full loan disclosures, including rates, fees, and other costs. Most lenders are required by law to provide that information. If a lender is reluctant to provide all this information, consider a red flag. Also, watch out if the creditor tries to explain away every fee and cost of the disclosure, or if you feel like you're not getting any straight answers for any of the questions that you're asking. If a loan officer tells you to misrepresent yourself in any way on the loan application, that's a huge warning sign. Sometimes they might encourage you to round up your income or put yourself in a full-time position rather than a part-time worker in order to improve those your chances of getting that loan approved. However, lying on a loan application is a form of fraud, and encouraging this kind of behavior is a sign of predatory lending. Another big one is those unsolicited offers. Sometimes you get those offers in the mail, but you got to remember that every unsolicited offer that you get in the mail is a form of predatory lending. But you should be very careful when you're applying for loans from an unsolicited source. Also, proceed with caution when it comes to unsolicited offers to refinance any loan. A huge one is those prepayment penalties. A prepayment penalty are fees lenders charge when you pay off a loan before the end of its term, which is known as a period of maturity. So if you get a windfall and decide to pay off your loan, you may face those unexpected fees at the end when you're trying to pay the loan off early. And here's another big one, is that access to your bank account. While lenders can't legally force you to provide your bank account number, they can offer to help you to set up automatic payments from your account. A predatory lender may use this to force payments out at will, potentially emptying your bank account and leaving you with overdraft fees. So it's very important that when you're looking at trying to get a loan and you're in this crunch because of the holidays, you're reopening and you're trying to stay open. And here are a couple things to avoid that predatory lending. The first one is, remember, do your homework. Even though there are a lot of predatory lenders out there, there are also a vast of lenders who have that reputation that will offer you a reasonable loan based on your ability to repay it. Again, easy money usually translates to problems at the end. Shop around and compare interest rates and fees. Remember, it's that loan that you're going to get. So make sure that you're getting the best interest rate and the best fees to the loan that you're applying for. And if you're having trouble finding good rates or terms, try improving your credit score before applying for a loan. That will ensure that you get those better rates and better fees for that loan that you're trying to apply. In closing, with the stress of maintaining your doors open, some predatory lenders are targeting vulnerable small business owners with loans that seem too good to be true, with no credit checks, quick approvals, or excessive fees. There are many resources you can access to make sure you don't fall victim to a predatory loan. If you have fallen victim to a predatory loan, you can contact the Nebraska State Attorney General's office, report your experience to the Federal Trade Commission by calling 1-877-FTC-HELP or 1-877-382-4357, or you can file the complaint online. That information will be in the chat box. For additional information or further questions, or you would like more information about a loan, you can reach any of our loan specialists. You can find your nearest loan specialist by visiting our website. The link will be also in the chat box. You can follow us on social media. We are here on Facebook and Twitter at CFRA, Instagram at Rural Nerd. You can also find us on LinkedIn when we continuously share resources that we develop and promote events that we are hosting. You can also visit our website at cfra.org. Again, I am Raúl Arcos Hawkins, Business Development Specialist for the Center for Rural Affairs, and I want to thank you for joining us again. Happy Thanksgiving.